Was there ever anyone like Jesus? And will there ever be anyone like him? A man who walked on water, calmed the storm, fed thousands with a little lad's lunch, healed the sick, raised the dead, and cast demons at the command of his voice. The Bible tells us that demons were so scared of him to the extent that they cried and begged to leave at his appearance. But this particular scenario was different, for the demons pleaded for the pigs. Why? Jesus was both the Son of God and a man while he was on earth. Because of how powerful and anointed he was, even the demons that supported Satan submitted to him when he was in their presence. However, there is a story in the Gospel of Luke 8:26-33 about Jesus driving out hordes of demons that had possessed a man in a place known as Gadarene. Scholars generally agree that the Greeks had a strong influence on this area, known as Decapolis. The Roman and Hellenistic cultures were prevalent there, in contrast to the largely Jewish area of Israel across the Sea of Galilee, which maintained Jewish customs and religious practices. However, 10 cities with temples dedicated to foreign deities and a focus on trade and business made up the Decapolis. Nonetheless, biblical historians and theologians agree that the prevalence of paganism and the lack of emphasis on the true God would have contributed to a higher level of demonic activity in this area. A man tormented by a swarm of demons with the name Legion approached Jesus as soon as he arrived in Decapolis. Rejected by society, the possessed man was living in the graves. There had been attempts to tie him, but he would break free and cut himself with stones. Nevertheless, the demons begged for the pigs rather than be sent into the pit when Jesus ordered them to leave the man. Unfortunately, the pigs jumped off a cliff and perished after Jesus granted the demons their request. Not only that, the Bible also states that to rob, kill, and destroy is the primary goal of Satan and his demons. Regretfully, the devil was successful with his mission in this man's life. He was clearly alone, had been cut off from all relationships, and was now living in a tomb. Who knows if he was ever married and had children? He was also in a critical condition where he was unable to control his body or mind. He also clearly lacked friends and was unable to break free from the demonic grip that had been placed over him. Let's see the story according to the Bible. And they arrived at the country of the Gadarenes, which is over against Galilee. And when he went forth to land, there met him out of the city a certain man, who had devils for a long time, and wore no clothes, neither abode in any house, but in the tombs. When he saw Jesus, he cried out and fell down before him, and with a loud voice he said, "What have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God Most High? I beseech you, torment me not." For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters. And he broke the bonds, and was driven by the devil into the wilderness. And Jesus asked him, saying, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion," because many devils had entered into him. And they beseeched him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. And there was a herd of many swine feeding on the mountain. And they beseeched him that he would suffer them to enter into them. And he suffered them. Then went the devils out of the man and entered into the swine. And the herd ran violently down a steep place into the lake, and were choked. Luke 8:26-33. The demons recognized the authority of the Lord Jesus over them, and were not in any way planning to argue with him, but they didn't want to be expelled to an uncertain location either. Therefore, they begged him for the pig, and Jesus, granting their request, expelled the demons into a herd of pigs, which violently ran off into a lake and perished. There are many reasons, according to the Bible, why the demons would have asked for the pigs, and here are a number of them. There are numerous accounts of demons being expelled from people, especially in the Gospels. This suggests that demons would always need a host to live in, and this is because demons and spirits without physical bodies cannot effectively carry out their malevolent work in the earthly realm, thereby rendering them inactive and almost powerless. Just like our case study, he had a legion living in him, and when the Lord Jesus asked them to leave, they pleaded for another host. Another Bible account is Luke 4:41. And devils also came out of many, crying out and saying, "Thou art Christ, the Son of God." And he rebuked them, telling them not to speak, for they knew that he was Christ. If demons will always need a host, then we must give them no room in our lives. Next on the list. According to the same account in the Gospel of Mark, the demons pleaded with the Lord Jesus to leave them within that region. Mark 5:8-10. For he said unto him, Come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, What is your name? And he answered, saying, My name is Legion, for we are many. And he beseeched him so much that he would not send them away out of the country. Also, in the book of Daniel, a demon is referred to by the name of a place, Persia, further establishing the fact that demons are territorial. Daniel 10:13. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me for 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Demons can choose to remain in a location if not expelled. However, the Lord Jesus has given us the authority to decide whether they can stay or not, and we must use that authority. Even though they are territorial, one thing demons hate is a dry place. Luke 11:24. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walks through dry places, seeking rest. Demons, when expelled from a host, are most of the time sent to a place called dry places. According to the Bible, this place is a place of restlessness and discomfort. Therefore, they hate being sent there. However, they would find a way to retain their host or remain in a particular location. Lastly, one of the primary assignments of the devil and his demons is to cause pain and wreak havoc, just as they did to the man and those pigs. According to the book of John 10:10, the thief cometh not, but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. The Bible, without doubt, is filled with several accounts of the terrible things that were done by demons, just like the possessed man. They made him lose his mind, cut his body, and even sleep in tombs. But we must understand that the Lord Jesus came for the opposite. It is clear that for whatever reason the demons asked for the pigs, for no good. Even though they desired to remain with the man, they had no choice but to leave because the Lord Jesus has authority over them. The question is, are demons still possessing people today? Let me know what you think in the comment section. And while you're doing that, don't forget to give us a thumbs up.